All right, so we have 6.2 in our red book, and this is just number 1 and 2. So it's asking us to copy and complete the table, and then later we're going to decide on whether 3/5 or 59% is greater. So what we're trying to do is compare fractions, decimals, and percents. So let's start off. And we are going to solve the percent for 8/25 or 72 hundredths. So automatically, I can see that my decimal and changing that into percent is going to be easier. So remember, when we take our decimal and we turn that into a percent, we are multiplying by 100. So I move my decimal to the right because I want to make it bigger, which gives me 72%. So here I write 72%. All right, next, let's move here. So I want to find my decimal of 17/20ths or 85 hundredths. So once again, I'm gonna go from percent to decimal because I think that's easier. So if I have 85%, I'm going to divide that. So 85 divided by 100, which I move my decimal 1, 2 places. It's going to be smaller. So I have 0.85 hundredths. And I did this because when I go from my percent to my decimal, I know that I divide by 100. 100. Okay? All right. So next, I just have my fraction. I'm going to turn that into a decimal and then into a percent. So to take a fraction and turn it into a decimal, you are just going to take 13 divided by 15. And I do that on my calculator. Divided. One time division. No. Here. 13 divided by 50. There we go. Oh, okay. 0.26. Hulk just needs to get it together. Okay. So there's my answer. So 0.26. And then I can just take that and directly go into a percent because I want to multiply that by 100. So I go 1, 2 places over, and I get 26%. Okay. Then my next thing is I have 62 hundredths. And let's go first do percent because that seems simpler. So I multiply by 100. So I move my decimal 1, 2 places over, and I get 62%. Yep. Oh, Miss Hope. All right. That will do. And then if I have 62%, that's the same as 62 over 100. So I could leave that as a fraction, but I will also reduce it down. So let's divide by 2 because these are even numbers here. So I divide by 2, I get 62. I take 62 divided by 2, that's equal to 31. Divided by 50. So I cannot reduce that down, so I write 31 over 50. All right. So next, my last step, I have 45%. I want to turn that into a decimal and then into a fraction. So 45%, I can divide that by 100. So my percent changes into over 100. So there's my fraction. Let's divide by 5. So 45 divided by 5, that gives me 9. 100 divided by 5, that gives me 20. So 9/20 is my fraction. And then if I actually continue that out and I go ahead and I can either take 9 divided by 20, which will equal 0.45, or I can take 45 divided by 100, which will also give me the same answer because they are all equal. So then my decimal is 0.3. Nice. All right, so now I have my table all filled out. And number 2 is asking me if 3/5 or 59% is greater. So first I have to decide whether or what form I want to put them into. So I'm going to put them both into decimals. I think decimals are the easiest thing to compare. So in order to do that, to take a fraction into a decimal, I take 3 divided by 5, and I get 0.6. So 0.6 greater or less than 59%. Well, in order to take 59%, I simply move my percent and I put that over 100. So then I take, I don't really need to do this, but just for show, 59 divided by 100 is equal to 59 hundredths, or I can simply move my decimal 1 2 places, so I get 0.59. And now I compare decimals. So I look at my tens place. I have a 6 and a 5, and 6 is greater than 5. So that is my answer. 0.6 or 3/5 is greater than 59% or 59 hundredths.